Okay, welcome back to Open. Our next guests are the founder, executive producers, brand director, and content creator of Eres. They're with us to highlight their upcoming BU Fest, Eres too, and to speak about how they are driving content spaces that celebrate creatives being themselves. So welcome Christine Cortes, nice to have you with us, and Michelle Polanco to the program. Michelle, just talk about, we were just doing really healthy things, talking about walking on trails. Mm-hmm. Where does RSU fit into this and the notion of being you, being yourself, into this whole realm of having people do better?
Well, I mean, overall in well-being, right? If you're yourself and you feel affirmed, you're going to show up as your best self everywhere. So our motto is to be you, own it. And we really push that through the media that we produce and the spaces that we create so that everybody feels empowered to just show up as they are and show what they've got.
And so, as opposed to a production company that just, makes TV shows or whatever it is that they do, you have a real agenda here. How does the mix of the content that you create work toward that agenda of helping people do better?
Well, there's a few components, right? So we place representation at the forefront, and we tell our stories. Everything is by us and for us. We never tell someone else's story, so that's really important to what we do in terms of our agenda. And overall, in terms of empowering creatives and entrepreneurs, we do it by way of not just producing content, but also hosting workshops and panels, giving folks opportunities through grants and job postings, curated events even, to be able to connect, collab, and grow together.
Christine, let's talk specifics about how the productions work and who comes in together. Like, anybody can come in, do they sign up with you? And then ultimately, what do they get to do that not only puts something out, but helps them do better?
Yeah, so right now the brand is really focused on building brand awareness. And so what we do is we feature a lot of our creatives and entrepreneurs through a Be You Own It series that we do. And so they send us content. They answer a few questions for us around what being you means to them. Why do they create? Why do they love to create? And we create these series that we put out on our social media. Secondarily, we have a space called Creators Collective, which is an opportunity for creatives and entrepreneurs to sign up. It's through a different app, and we have over 170 plus members there that they get to network with other creatives. There we host skill building workshops and events, like how to shoot for social media, how to produce your own series, even how to protect your creatives, since creatives need to understand what it means to protect their intellectual properties. And then also in there we put out curated grants.
Wow!
And through,
I feel like saying, is that all?
I know. We do a lot for sure.
Well, it's interesting to me. Every time people throw out numbers, so you say, what was it, 170
plus? Yeah.
Do it on your fingers and get to 170, and you get to see the size of it. But I, hearing you talk about it was very inspiring to me because it's so Bronx. We have the need to create, and when you tell me 170, there's 1.4 million that could be part of it because that's who we are. Talk to me about the borough of the Bronx and why Eres is perfect for our home borough.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a Bronx native.
Well, as soon as I said that, she lit up like a light bulb.
Yeah, no, because I'm really excited. I'm a Bronx native. We're doing this first ever BU Fest here in the Bronx. I'm really excited to find partners and opportunities for Bronx creatives, local creatives, whether it's artists, artisans, vendors, even people who are in production and media that get to host and facilitate our workshops at the event. And what we're really looking to do is start here and bring the Bronx with us wherever we go. The festival is really looking to grow past the Bronx even, but we want to bring the Bronx creatives with us.
Okay, so I'm going to get up now and give you a big hug because this is what we need in the borough of the Bronx. We know what's going on out there, but we have stood strong, and this is why, because we are who we are. Talk about the definition of the projects. Like, what is it that when either people come in or they send you stuff that you say, this works, well, maybe not, you know what I mean? Talk about the editing of what you actually choose to do, if you would.
Well, in terms of the folks that are coming to Creators Collective,
Yes.
Yeah.
so we are. It's not necessarily a vetting process to say that this works or this doesn't.
Ah.
It's really a community for folks that are doing things, right?
Whatever
So
it is you say, we like. We check, put the
Right.
check mark
we just
on it.
want to make sure that you are in whatever you're saying you're doing, and really have the space for you to grow with everybody else.
How long have you been doing this?
We launched, Creators Collective launched last year, but
So-
Eres has been around since the end of 2018.
And now after the pandemic, do you find that there's kind of a different
Absolutely.
attitude? I'm going to guess, and then you can either confirm or
Yeah.
deny that we're getting more of it because people had been alone for 2 years, and then especially Bronx people had to explode.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing BU Fest. Actually, our platform is mostly digital. We do host in-person events, but everybody's craving to connect in person, and BU Fest we feel is the ultimate place to do so, because you're gonna feel you're creative and you'll be able to meet other people that are doing the same things or other creative crafts like you.
Let's also talk about what resources people might need. Do they need to have their resources at home, where they create this stuff, maybe something that they've submitted to you, or can you help provide it? Of course, BronxNet does a ton of work in this realm as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both for sure. We, whether it's content creation via social media or you're looking to do more film projects, let's say you're a filmmaker, then if you're at home, if you're doing content creation, we teach you how to do that with your phone. But then secondarily, if you're looking to do something that's a bit bigger and you're looking to produce a film, we have a network of other people that you can tap into to help you create that film.
Talk about digital spaces and people, everybody, I can hold up my cell phone and say, we all got one of these. You can do that, and you can be on all over the world. Just talk about the opportunities that the digital world provide for the people who work with you.
Yeah, so we've been talking about Creators Collective, but Eres as a brand is a digital space. We, even during the pandemic, you kind of mentioned, right, was a real opportunity for people to show up differently. And so something that we did weeks on end of Instagram lives that really catered to the needs of our audience. We had workshops, creative expression, conversations around healing during that time, but also how we can use our art to heal. And that's something that Ed is really focused on. We even fundraised money for different organizations at that time, utilizing the digital space, if you will, to do so. Yeah.
Well, I was just looking at some of the photos that they're showing. There's a lot of happy people there. And I really think, just really learning about this really is perfect for the borough of the Bronx. I mean, nobody knows who we are. We know we created all the music in the world. We know that that's a matter of history. And so just talk about the borough of the Bronx and why this really works here, even though it's been around in other places as well.
Well, the creative community is growing a lot in the Bronx.
Boy, is that ever true.
So
I sit in this seat for a couple of programs, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
yes, over the last, I believe, like 25 years, it's more than doubled. And while other boroughs have larger creative communities and resources and things that already might be more set up, we feel like the Bronx is vibrant, is coming up in that sense. So we want to empower more folks and support and show up for the people that are living their dreams.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you this question, and maybe it's obvious, but I think it's just so important. Why do you do this? What is it in you that said, hey, this, out of all the possibilities in this world, you learn stuff in
Right.
education, you go to school. Why is this really important to you personally?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned at the beginning, we do things by us and for us. And as a creative entrepreneur myself, I definitely found many times that I didn't feel supported. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have the resources. And I wanted to create that space so that I can not just go myself, but also bring folks
others.
with. Yeah.
You know you're getting the same question.
I don't know that I can give much of a different answer because it really is the same. I've been.
And by the way,
yeah.
what we just heard from Michelle really speaks to the Bronx because people, you know, we know what's out there and people really need to be themselves. But go ahead, I had to ask that question.
No. I mean, just on the Bronx alone, what we find with the creative community is that we sort of work in these silos within the spaces. And really what we're looking to do with BU Fest is kind of bring those together. So me personally, I've been in the media industry for over 12 years, and I'm always kind of...
We need more than 12 minutes to talk about that.
Yeah, so, you know, I've always, you know, in a lot of rooms been the only Latina represented in the space. And really it was important for us to kind of create a space that representation is at the forefront of everything we do. So you see our Black, Indigenous, people of color at the forefront.
BU Fest, when, where, how do people connect? What do they do? How do we make it happen?
May 3rd.
May
3rd, Saturday, May 3rd. Doors open at 9, and it's actually at BronxNet at 441.
What? Go ahead, keep going.
At 441 Westchester Avenue. And all you have to do is purchase a ticket. There's different passes for you to try, and you just go to the website.
Yeah, the festival itself, it's going to be an experience. You're going to be able to fully immerse yourself in creativity and inspiration. The room is going to be, we're going to have projection mapping across all the rooms.
And so this is at our facility at La Centrale in the South
it is.
Bronx.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, here we go. Which is really good because then people will get to know the facility. Of course, you know, it was so easy for me to hear what you're saying because this, of course, is what BronxNet has been about for, you know, since we got started. Well, folks, Michelle Polanco and Christine Cortes, thank you so much for this is the core, this is the Bronx, this is how we survive, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Great. Okay, folks, we'll take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Open right after this.